Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Variety and comedy this Thursday with episodes of the Chase and Sanborn Hour with their guest Ida Lupino, the Aldrich Family from 84 years ago, where Henry Aldrich is going to be the generous gentleman. Also, the Penny Singleton Show and an episode of Superman. That's what's coming up on this Sure Happy It's Thursday. This is the 5th day of September, 249th day of the year, 117 days remaining. Happy birthday to the shortest-running James Bond in the movies. Do you know who that is? We'll tell you in a bit. The First Continental Congress met in Philadelphia on this date in 1774. 1836, the Republic of Texas made military hero Sam Houston its first president. In 1960, Cassius Clay, soon to be Muhammad Ali, won the gold medal in boxing at the Rome Olympic Games. In 1972, a Palestinian terrorist group called Black September attacked and took hostages 11 Israeli athletes at the Munich Olympics.
Building now swarming with Germans trying to rescue the Israelis. All day long, these strange-sounding sirens of Europe have been going. That two-note thing that you saw in so many World War II movies, that bam, 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 pulsating through the city. All of the hostages are dead. Most of the Arabs are dead. 3 of them are in hospitals, and 1 of them may still be on the loose, being hunted in the hills of Bavaria. The Olympics are in doubt.
We mourn our Israel friends, victims of this brutal assault. The Olympic flag and the flags of all the world fly at half-mast. Sadly, in this imperfect world, the greater and the more important the Olympic Games become, the more they are open to commercial, political, and now criminal pressure.
ABC's Jim McKay and an Olympics official there, 11 Israelis killed at that Olympics. In Sacramento on this date in 1975, a follower of incarcerated cult leader Charles Manson named Lynette Squeaky Fromm attempted to assassinate President Ford.
I noticed a person in the second or third row in a brightly colored dress who appeared to want to either shake hands or speak, or at least wanted to get closer to me. I stopped because I was gradually moving toward the state capitol, and that was my first impression of a person who had a dress on. I, of course, didn't know who it was. As I stopped, I saw a hand come through the crowd in the first row, and that was the only active gesture that I saw, but in the hand was a weapon.
Fromm's attempt to kill President Ford thwarted by a Secret Service agent. 1977, NASA launched the Voyager 1 spacecraft. In 1984, the Space Shuttle Discovery landed after its maiden voyage. In 1997, humanitarian Mother Teresa, who won a Nobel Peace Prize for her work with the poor, died in Calcutta, India, at the age of 87. In 1997, stung by criticism, the royal family had reacted coldly to the death of Princess Diana. Queen Elizabeth delivered her condolences in a rare national address.
There are lessons to be drawn from her life and from the extraordinary and moving reaction to her death.
Queen Elizabeth on the death of Princess Diana on this date in 1997. Passing away on this date in history, the Cajun cook and storyteller Justin Wilson.
You know, I got a friend was very little boy cheering, not quite sad. And that little boy cheering, up until the time he's not quite 7, don't say a word. He can yell, but he don't say something. And his mama and papa, they worry, whoo, man, you know. And bye. They take him to the doctor, and the doctor say that I can't find something wrong. And he hit himself in the head, say, you know, maybe like that. But he okay. And one morning at breakfast, just before he's 7-year-old, he looked at his mama and said, Mama, this doggone toast is burned like the devil, I guarantee. Well, she do a handsprung right now. And his papa, he lose his spoke plumb. He can't say a word. And after a while, his mama says, son, all these years you ain't never say something before. How come you ain't say something till now, huh? He say, up to now, everything been okay.
We lost Justin Wilson on this date back in 2001. He had lived quite the life. Among others passing away on this date, the man behind the candid camera, Alan Funt. Also, Giselle McKenzie, singer, actress, and violinist. If you've never heard her bits with Jack Benny, they were a delight. Also, journalist Bruce Morton. The man whom I was named after, Hugh O'Brien. Wait a minute. You're not named Hugh. You're named Wyatt. I'm named Wyatt. Because he played Wyatt Earp on television, and my mother was infatuated with Hugh O'Brien, but she didn't want to name me Hugh, so she named me Wyatt. And we were living in Kansas at the time, so my dad didn't think anything about it. And also, political activist Phyllis Schlafly, all passing away, I should say, on this date in history. If there was one thing that 2024 made me hurt over, it was the fact that we lost Bob Newhart, who was born on this date back in 1929.
I worked as an accountant for about 2 years in Chicago. I got a degree in accounting, went into the Army during the Korean War. Remember that one? And, no benefits. And I have held close to 30 separate accounting jobs in 2 years, which is like 3 weeks at each place, you know. I found one thing is true, that they always put you through an orientation program. You spend 1 week learning all the problems you're going to have to face in this new job. But invariably, after the week in orientation, the first problem you run into, your first day on the job, was never covered in any of the sessions. Now, with this kind of prologue, this may seem kind of a jump. My favorite movie is King Kong, the monster movie. This is the greatest monster movie ever made. And the biggest scene, of course, the one you all remember from King Kong, is when King Kong climbs the outside of the Empire State Building. All right, now putting these two thoughts together. This is the night that King Kong climbs the outside of the Empire State Building. It's also the first night on the job for a new guard. See? This is his first night on the job.
What wonderfully wacky premises. Of course, the two TV shows, the Bob Newhart Show and Newhart. Bob Newhart passing away earlier this year at the age of 94, born on this date in history. Jesse James, the Outlaw, also born on this date. Jack Daniel, have a drink for Jack Daniel, because that's what he did. Also composer John Cage, actress Raquel Welch, who we lost last year at the age of 82, and she still looked wonderful, and Queen's Freddie Mercury, all born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
She won a Tony Award for playing Maria in West Side Story. The delightful Carol Lawrence is 92 years old today. Actor William Devaney is 85. He played James Bond in exactly one movie in the 1969 film On Her Majesty's Secret Service. George Lazenby, 85. And he was a good man. In fact, they made another film about him, about the fact that he did Bond just that one time. Singer-songwriter Al Stewart, 79 today.
1976.
Don't bother asking for explanation. She'll just tell you that she came in the year of the cat.
One of the records I played on radio and didn't get tired of. The Year of the Cat, Al Stewart, 79 years old today. The man who sang about the dead skunk in the middle of the road, he made some appearances on the TV show MASH as well in the first season. Loudon Wainwright III, 78 today. Cartoonist who did the comic strip Kathy. Ironically, that's her name, Kathy Geiswhite. Kathy Geiswhite is 74 today. Among the many roles he played, lots of comedies, but also some drama. Michael Keaton, 73 today.
I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Michael Keaton as Batman, 73 today. Dweezil Zappa, 55 years old today. From Charmed, Rose McGowan, 51. And from The Vampire Diaries, Kat Graham is 35. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 5th day of September as their birthday. If this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
An hour of fun, entertainment, variety straight ahead. The Chase and Sanborn Hour from 87 years ago, September 5th, 1937. Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy, Nelson, Eddy, W.C. Fields, and Dorothy Lamour, and special guest Ida Lupino. That's straight ahead on this Thursday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
There's an issue cutting through the partisanship in Congress. It's AM radio. The overwhelming majority of legislators, Democrats and Republicans, support a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But time is running out. Text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now. AM radio is too important to let this moment pass us by.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, first part of the Chase and Sanborn Hour, going back 87 years to September 5th, 1937. And the guests during this hour, along with Nelson Eddy and W.C. Fields and Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy and Dorothy Lamour, will be Ida Lupino. And let's get into the first half of the show.
The makers of the coffee you know is fresh, Chase and Sanborn Coffee, whose big September sale now being held will benefit everyone, presents the Chase and Sanborn Hour. And your host, Don Amici. This is the Chase and Sanborn Hour, and this is Don Amici welcoming you for all of us. For Nelson Eddy, whose magnificent voice has made him one of the most important figures in the musical world today. For the ace of comedians, our own W.C. Fields.
Yeah, he's an ace and I'm a joker. We're a couple of deuces wild. Continue dealing, Mr. Amici.
Well, since you've handed me the deck, Charlie, I'll deal a pair of queens. Our guest, Miss Ida Lupino, who walks away with new honors in her latest picture, Artisan Models, and our own lovely Dorothy Lamour.
Ah, my queen of hearts. What a hand to hold. Oh.
And to make it a full house, there's Robert Armbruster and, of course, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. We hope you'll enjoy your visit with us, and we hope, too, that throughout this week you will enjoy Chase and Sanborn Coffee. Few singers have ever been as widely acclaimed as Nelson Eddy, or have so completely won the hearts of American audiences. From one of his greatest pictures, Naughty Marietta, Nelson greets us with a song we all like to remember. Nelson Eddy singing, I'm Falling in Love with Someone.
I've a very strange feeling I never felt before. 'Tis a kind of a grind of depression. My heart's acting strangely, it feels rather sore. At least it gives me that impression. My That pulses leap madly without any cause. Believe me, I'm telling you truly. I'm gay without cause, then sad without cause. My spirits are truly unruly. For I'm falling in love with someone, girl. I'm falling in love with someone, head of world. Yes, I'm falling in love with someone, plain to see. I'm sure I could love someone madly if someone would only love me. Yes, I'm falling in love with someone, plain to see. I'm sure I could love someone madly if someone would only love me.
Nelson Eddy steps for a romantic serenade to one of the hardest tongue twisters in all music. From Iolanthe, he brings us Gilbert and Sullivan's unique musical picture of a bad dream. Nelson Eddy singing The Lord Chancellor's Nightmare.
Love unrequited robs me of my rest. Love, hopeless love, my ardent soul encumbers. Love, nightmare-like, lies heavy on my chest and weaves itself into my midnight slumbers. When you're lying awake with a dismal headache and repose is tabooed by anxiety, I concede you may use any language you choose to indulge in without impropriety. For your brain is on fire, the bedclothes conspire of usual slumber to plunder you. First your counterpane goes and uncovers your toes, and your sheet slips demurely from under you. Then the blanketing tickles you, feel like mixed pickles so terribly sharp as the pricking. And you're hot and you cross and you tumble and toss till there's nothing to stew in the ticking. Then the bedclothes all creep to the ground in a heap, and you pick them all up in a tangle. Next your pillow resigns and politely declines to remain at its usual angle. Well, you get some repose in the form of a doze with hot eyeballs and head ever aching. But your slumbering teems with such horrible dreams that you'd very much better be waking. For you dream you are crossing the channel and tossing about in a steamer from Harwich, which is something between a large bathing machine and a very small second-class carriage. And you're giving a treat, penny ice and cold meat, to a party of friends and relations. They're a ravenous horde, and they all came aboard at Sloane Square in South Kensington stations. And bound on that journey, you find your attorney who started that morning from Devon. He's a bit undersized, and you don't feel surprised when he tells you he's only 11. Well, you're driving like mad with a singular lad. By the by, the ship's now a four-wheeler. And you're playing round games, and he calls you bad names, and you tell him that ties pay the dealer. But this you can't stand, so you throw up your hand, and you feel it as cold as an icicle. And your shirt and your socks, the black silk with gold clocks, crossing Salisbury Plain on a bicycle. And he and the crew are on bicycles, too, which they've somehow or other invested in. And he's telling the tars all the particulars of a company he's interested in. It's a scheme of devices to get at low prices all goods from cough mixtures to cables, which tickle the sailors by treating retailers as though they were all vegetables. You get a good spadesman to plant a small tradesman, first take off his boots with a boot tree, and his legs will take root and his fingers will shoot and they'll blossom and bud like a fruit tree. From the greengrocer tree, you'll get grapes and green peas, cauliflowers, pineapples, and cranberries, while the pastry cook plant cherry brandy will grant apple puffs and three corners and banberries. Well, the shares are a penny, and ever so many are taken by Rothschild and Bering, and just as a few are allotted to you, you awake with a shudder despairing. You're a regular wreck with a crick in your neck, and no wonder you snore, for your head's on the floor, and you've needles and pins from your toes to your shins, and your flesh is a creep, for your left leg's asleep, and you cramp in your toes, and a fly on your nose, and some bluff in your lung, and a feverish tongue, and a thirst that's intense, and a general sense that you haven't been sleeping in clover. But the darkness has passed, and it's daylight at last, and the night has been long. Ditto, ditto, my song. And thank goodness they're both of them.
Nice musical nightmare, Nelson.
Thanks, Don.
But unfortunately, all nightmares aren't quite so agreeable. Take a look at Edgar Bergen, will you? Looks as if he'd been through a real nightmare.
Probably that little nightmare Charlie McCarthy is after him again.
Oh, is that so? I heard that last crack there. Well, you can't pin that on me. I haven't seen Bergen all week.
No. Now, Charlie, you know I've been very busy.
Is that so?
Yes. And there are so many little things, that take up so much time.
Isn't it true? Yes. Yes, so many little things take up so much time. That's pretty good. Yes, well, I saw you with one of those little things down at the Coconut Grove. And she wasn't so little either.
Well,
am I right or am I right?
Well, if you must know, I have met a charming young lady.
Oh.
Yes, and I have, shall I say, been entertaining her with, shall I say, some degree of success.
Well, did you, or are you just, shall you saying? Well, be definite. Have you seen her often?
Well, only about 4 times the past week.
Only 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Are you courting her, or are you haunting her?
No.
Now, Bergen, come clean now. Tell me everything.
Everything?
Yes. It still may not be too late.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll tell you, Charlie. This girl is different.
Oh, they all are, lad.
I
see. Different.
Tell me more, fool. All right. Well, this girl of mine, she doesn't care much for the glamour and the nightlife. She prefers the simple things.
Bergen, you're sitting pretty. Tell me, did you kiss her?
Well,
liar.
All right.
Oh, come now. Remember, we're pals.
Yes.
I won't talk.
No. Well,
the suspense is awful. Did you?
Well,
Oh, come.
Well, what business is it of yours?
Oh, so you couldn't kiss her, huh?
Well, after all, why should I?
Why should you? That's too much for me. That's too much. After all, it's being done,
Yes, I suppose so. Charlie, you don't seem to be able to appreciate the cultural influence woman has on man.
Uh-huh.
Woman is like a delicate flower.
Delicate flower. Bergen, you don't get around much, do you? He's so naive, isn't it? Delicate flower. That's all well and good, but that can be carried too far, you know.
I see. Well, now, I'm not going to tell you any more about her.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Well, why? I always tell you about my girls. Of course, I have something to tell, Lloyd.
Well, this girl of mine, she will undoubtedly go into pictures.
Yes?
Yes, she says she can act.
She says she can act?
Yes.
Well, then you can be sure she can if she says so.
Yes. I've offered to help her get in pictures.
That's nice.
Yes, but you know, it's so discouraging.
Isn't it?
Yes. So I gave her a pair of silver foxes, just to cheer her up.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Yes. I imagine she likes me a great deal, or she wouldn't have accepted them.
Yeah. Pardon me. Go on, won't you?
Charlie, frankly, do you think I'm foolish?
Bergen, I have nothing to say, and this is the time to say it.
Well, she phoned me this morning to tell me that she received my billy-do.
Your what-a-boo?
My billy-do.
No.
Yes.
Oh, isn't that sweet? What's a billy-do?
Well, it's a letter.
Oh, a letter?
Yes.
Now, she calls it a billy-do. Later on, it'll be called Exhibit A.
I see.
How old are you, Bergen?
Well, I'm in my early 30s.
That's too bad. You're too old.
Too old for what?
For me to tell you what every young man should know. Say, why don't you get married, Mr. Bergen?
Well, why?
Well, you might as well. You have that worried look already. In fact, you're the most married-looking single man I've ever seen. Yes, sir, I've decided you should get married, Bergen.
I should?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're right.
I know I'm right. It's a shame to waste a face like that.
Oh, that's...
Well, Charlie seems to be rather cynical about Edgar Bergen's love affair, but perhaps with music we can appeal to his sentimental side. So we turn on the moon, sift a little silver light through the shadows of some fragrant old garden, and listen to Dorothy Lamour as she sings Whispers in the Dark.
Night and the stars and the moonbeam, music and dancing and wine, and then in the dark the whispers that make a moment of love divine. Whispers in the dark, two shadows in the night, so gentle and so tender that every little word is like a song of sweet delight. Whispers in the dark, how heavenly they seem, when arms and lips surrender and every little kiss is like a dream within a dream. But soon the breezes whisper to the trees that dawn is near. So soon their little paradise of love will disappear. Whispers in the dark, while stars are in the blue. Upon a night like this, perhaps I'll hear a little whisper in the dark from But soon the breezes whisper to the trees that dawn Upon a night like this, perhaps I'll hear a little whisper in the
Whispers are usually for the ears of one listener. So we'll have to raise our voices in this good news we want everybody to hear. During September, there's a big special Chase and Sanborn sale that will benefit everyone all over the United States and Canada. Here are the facts.
Right now, and all the rest of this month, there's a big September sale on Chase and Sanborn Dated Coffee. Don't miss this opportunity to get Dated Coffee. The superb coffee you know is fresh at special sale prices. Every bag of Chase and Sanborn Dated Coffee is guaranteed fresh by a unique dating and delivery system. Every bag is rushed fresh to your grocer with the delivery date plainly marked on it for you to see. It can't be sold stale. It can't have that bitter, rancid taste of stale coffee. It can't upset your stomach and your nerves. It can't make you headachy, cross, and depressed as stale coffee may. And here's another point. With freshness guaranteed by our dating and delivery system, we can pack this superb coffee in an economical dated paper bag and pass the saving on to you. This makes Chase and Sanborn Dated Coffee a wonderful value at any time. And right now, during September, you get an added saving on every pound you buy. If you are a regular Dated Coffee user, take advantage of these special sale prices. If you have not yet tried Chase and Sanborn Dated Coffee, be sure to get acquainted with it while the sale is on. Find out this week how rich and fresh coffee can be. Ask your grocer for a pound of fresh Chase and Sanborn Dated Coffee the next time you buy coffee.
Not many years ago, Ida Lupino was just an ambitious young extra praying for a break and never getting it. But one day, her fairy godmother got to work. Alan Dwan, the famous director, saw her in a casting office and immediately signed her for his next picture. Today, she is scoring another hit in Paramount's new picture, Artists and Models. For us, Ida Lupino plays the title role in an original sketch by True Boardman, Salute the Baroness.
Salute the Baroness, with Ida Lupino as the Baroness Anna Gregg and Don Amici as Colonel Van Storm. It is Berlin in the late summer of 1916. Here in a palace in the Wilhelmstrasse, far from the horror of the battlefields, a great ball is in progress. Here, amid laughter and music, it is almost as though the war were a distant memory. Almost, for in a small room just off the balcony of the ballroom...
Oh, so. Well, what luck, Baroness?
As you wished, he has asked me for the next dance.
Good. You managed an introduction?
I thought he might be suspicious, so we conveniently just happened to meet on the balcony.
Excellent. You understand your orders?
Oh, perfectly. Everything is arranged?
Everything. You will be sure to specify the small gate behind the conservatory. We must avoid any commotion.
Of course, Commander.
Remember, your warning must be believable. It must grow out of an apparent, personal concern for Colonel Van Storm.
A personal concern for a man I've known less than an hour? Yes, it is not impossible when the man concerned is the charming Colonel Van Storm. In fact, if this were not wartime... But no matter it is, and there's nothing so futile as might have been. But the dance must be ended. He'll be looking for me.
I need not tell you, Baroness, that you're doing a great service for the Vaterland.
That is my one desire, Commander. And now you will excuse me, gentlemen. Colonel Van Storm is waiting for his dance.
Good fortune, Baroness.
Oh, you dance divinely, Fräulein. Tell me, is that laughter always in your eyes when you are dancing with a man?
Are you sure it's laughter, Herr Colonel Van Storm? But regardless, the answer is no.
Who are you? Since you know me, it is only fair.
Of course. I'm Anna Gregg.
Anna Gregg? Well, where have you been all these years? Berlin has needed you.
Oh, needed me, Colonel.
Look around and you will see why. Find me a pretty face, aside from the married ones.
You will forgive me, Colonel, but I forgot to mention that I am the Baroness Anna Gregg.
Oh, a Baroness. And that means a baron.
Oh, quite a baron.
I could kill him.
That won't be necessary, Colonel. That was accomplished over a year ago.
Oh, I am sorry.
Are you really? Personally, I'm quite glad.
Why, Baroness.
Oh, Heinrich was such a bore, and he done so badly. Not at all as well as you, for instance, Colonel von Storm.
You know that you are a fascinating woman, Baroness?
Oh, even if I had the faintest suspicion of it, Colonel, I should never admit it to you. Only that woman is a mystery to a man who is still a mystery to herself.
An epigram, and a splendid one.
Naturally, since it's a lie.
It won't do, Anna Gregg.
Won't do?
Fencing with words. Empty speeches on our lips to conceal what we feel in our hearts. It's all it's been since the moment we met. I must see you again. Away from here. Tonight.
Oh, no.
Tomorrow, then. The day after. But it must be, Anna Gregg.
Oh, it's impossible, believe me.
Another man?
Oh, of course not. Oh, I can't tell you.
Is it then because we've only met tonight? And you are afraid of impulse? You can't be, Anna. These things happen to us, and they are stronger than we are.
Oh, you think I don't know? Now, listen to me. We cannot meet again because... Wait. Dance us into the alcove there.
Very well. Now?
No. Keep dancing, but apart from the others. We shan't meet again because you must not be here. You must leave Berlin.
Leave Berlin?
Essen, Bolstein, all of them know. Last week, important information concerning our troops reached the hands of the enemy. It has been discovered how.
Interesting. But how...
How do I know? That's unimportant. They plan to take you at midnight, but it's...
Anna.
Go out through the garden. Behind the conservatory is a small gate. There will be no guards there. Now go, please.
But you... If they learn you have told me...
Oh, they will not learn. And if they do, c'est la guerre, as our enemies would say.
And now remember this. If this war ever ends, I'm going to find you.
If it ever ends. Auf Wiedersehen, Herr Colonel. Go now quickly before the music starts again.
Auf Wiedersehen, Anna Gregg.
Come in. Well?
It is done.
Good. Good, Baroness.
It should be amusing to observe the Colonel's face when he realizes just how you have befriended him.
I shall remain.
The guard should have him here in a moment.
You found your task difficult, Baroness?
Oh, to the contrary. Almost pleasant, in fact.
Yes?
The prisoner, Commanderess. In there with you.
Good evening, gentlemen. And Baroness Craig. How pleasant that we should meet again.
Isn't it?
Well, Commander?
What have you to say?
What is there to say? Thanks to the Baroness, you know all that you wish to know. I would be a fool to attempt denials.
You anticipate death calmly, my friend.
Naturally. Do not all of us who choose this way to serve our respective countries?
Mm-hmm. In the morning, then, a firing squad.
Oh, but certainly. Oh, Baroness, forgive me. In the hurry of my departure out there, I forgot to thank you for the dance.
The pleasure was mine, Colonel von Storm.
Yes, I suppose so. Baroness, would it mean anything to you if I told you now that I meant what I said out there? That we must meet again?
It would mean nothing.
You will still let me be shot in the morning?
It shall be a pleasure to watch the process, Colonel.
Well, Commander, I think she will do.
You're right, von Storm. She will.
Bolstein, you agree? Perfectly.
Yes, but I don't understand.
A necessary deception, Baroness. When you offered your services to our cause, Essen at once realized that we could use you on an important mission.
And I suggested as much to my chief.
Your chief?
Perhaps you would care to meet him. The Colonel von Storm.
Oh, then you...
I must beg forgiveness. But we had to be sure. If you had failed to carry out our order, we might have suspected you of, shall we say, feminine weakness. But I believe you would have led that firing squad yourself, Baroness.
Yeah, you can be sure I would have.
Then you are decided? She is the one?
She is the one.
I'm glad. And when does my service begin?
Tonight. The car will be here at 11, which will take you to a waiting plane. The plane will carry you to Holland. From there, arrangements are already made to get you into France. Ezra.
Jawohl.
You will see to the car?
Jawohl, Herr Colonel.
Bolstein. Yeah? Check again on arrangements for the plane.
Jawohl.
I shall give the final instructions to the Baroness.
Very good, Colonel. Baroness, permit me to salute you.
For the fatherland, Baroness.
For the fatherland. Auf Wiedersehen, gentlemen. Your instructions, Colonel von Storm?
Once you have reached Paris, you will take every means to ingratiate yourself with the General Dumer and the French High Command.
Are they gone?
Wait. No one outside.
The windows.
With these curtains drawn, blind. Oh, Annette.
Oh, Pierre, my Pierre.
Oh, darling, darling.
Oh, it's been so long, Pierre, 1,000 years.
And it may be thousands more.
Oh, no, it can't be. Let this be the last, and out of it, both of us, to Holland or America, perhaps. We shall have done enough. No one has served France more, Pierre.
We shall never have done enough until it's over. Time then to think of us.
If there is any us by then. Oh, my darling, if either of us should slip.
Oh, no. We can't slip, Annette. We won't. But there's little time. I give this word to General Dumer. A new offensive on the Somme within 4 days, with 6 brigades. Weakest spot on the German line will be the village of Chateau Thierry. Full strength of the counteroffensive should fall there. Do you have that?
Offensive, Somme, 4 days, 6 brigades, weak spot, Chateau Thierry. Strike there on counterattack.
Good. And Annette, tell Dumer he's to give you information, valid information on unimportant things to get back to me, so that I can convince Essen and the others that you are a successful German agent in Paris. I don't want the risk of a change.
Then I shan't come back here.
No, Annette.
Oh, but if you need me.
I shall not need you. Oh, that's a lie. Of course, my life is only half a life apart from you, Annette. But what must be...
Oh, no, Pierre, listen to me. It's more dangerous for you every day. Come back to Paris, too, while your moves are still unquestioned.
No, Annette.
But it may mean your life, my darling.
And if it does, do you realize, Annette, that a single piece of information that we get through to Dumer may mean 40,000 lives saved for France?
Yes, I know, Pierre, and you're right. It's only that every time we meet like this, I'm so desperately afraid in my heart that it'll be the last. Kiss me.
Oh, Annette. And believe me, a day in Holland or America, we'll see it yet. Oh, darling. You understand? You will learn all you can of French activities. Placements of batteries. New brigades moved up into line.
The car is ready.
Good.
The Baroness understands all she's to do?
Perfectly, Commander Essen. Then this is our Wiedersehen again, Colonel von Storm.
Again, Baroness. And may we dance together soon. And once again, may you whisper secret warnings into my ear.
Yes, Colonel.
Good night, Baroness. I'm sure you will serve our country well.
If my service is as great as yours, I can ask no more. Good night, Colonel von Storm. It was pleasant to have met you.
Thank you, Ida Lupino. You certainly make a charming Baroness. And if your ardent young admirer, Charles McCarthy, will only be patient a bit longer, we'll see that he gets his chance to co-star with you in the very special, super dramatic opus he has written for you. But first, let me say that the Chase and Sanborn Hour with W.C. Fields, Nelson Eddy, Edgar Bergen, and Charlie McCarthy, and Dorothy Lamour will continue in just a moment.
And from 87 years ago, September 5th, 1937, the Chase and Sanborn Hour, here on this Thursday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll hear the conclusion in a moment.
Survival in the nuclear age is your responsibility. Are you prepared?
Okay, let's get this family meeting wound up, and I'll treat all of you to a movie. Now, suppose I run down this list of family responsibilities during a disaster once more and make sure we all know just what to do. Now, let's see. It's Mother's job to stock the food and water supply in the shelter and keep it rotated. Junior, you check the battery-operated radio and take care of storing extra batteries. Susie, you keep the first aid kit fully supplied. Keeping the car in tip-top shape in case of evacuation will be my job.
To protect your home and family, everyone must make a contribution. In the event of enemy attack or a sudden natural disaster, the speed with which you can swing into action may mean the difference between survival and collapse. But to be efficient, action must be organized. Assign a specific home preparedness job to each member of the family.
Remember, a strong defense begins with a prepared family and ends with a protected nation.
Start your family on a home preparedness program today.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues now with the conclusion of the Chase and Sanborn Hour from 87 years ago, September 5th, 1937.
Spies to the right of us and spies to the left of us. It's getting to be a habit around here.
Say, I hear you've written a play about spies, Charlie.
Yes, I have, Don.
What do you call this play about spies?
I call it, Spies. It's one of those tricky titles. Good, eh? The scene is the ballroom of the Grand Hotel off the coast of Labrador. Duke Ole Olsen, a Swedish spy, played by Mr. Charles McCarthy, that's me, is dancing with the Countess leaning against her. A Hungarian spy. The spy is played by Miss Ida Lupino. The time is indefinite.
Yeah, well, look, Charlie, what do I do?
Oh, you're a spy. You lurk around.
Yeah, but what do I do?
Well, that's what you do. You stop and lurk and listen.
You dance divinely, Duke.
Oh, well, you ain't so bad yourself, Countess.
The music is divine, is it not?
Yeah, there is that. It's the cats, especially the violin.
Oh, that song, always it makes me think of my homeland.
Yeah, me too, Countess. And never get tired of hearing the Blue Danube. Did you hear that?
What is it?
I think I heard a spy spying.
Tell me, who are those three gentlemen wading in the punch bowl?
Well, if they're wading in the punch bowl, they ain't no gentlemen. Oh, those three, well, they are three German spies. That's hair falling and hair tonic and hair today and gone tomorrow. And behind them is their superior. That's the Baron Nelson von Eddy.
Tell me, what news from Sweden, Duke?
That's bad news. That's very bad, Countess. There is labor trouble in the match factory. Oh, the matches have gone on strike.
What is Sweden without matches?
Norway. Yeah. My poor Sweden. Matches, always matches. Ugh, how we suffer.
But there is no time to waste. We must get the papers.
For Sweden.
For Hungary.
Quick, let us hide in the butler's pantry while no one is looking.
Harry, dear.
Area. Alone at last, eh? They'll never suspect we're English.
We're safe here, my lad. Safe as a bug in a rug.
Oh, it's a bit all right here.
Oh, yes. Oh, for a sight of Piccadilly Circus and a cut of roast beef.
Aye, and a peep at Leicester Square and a flight of fish and chips.
Oh, lovely. Let's go back, Harry. Let's chuck this old booming spy business.
Oh, we can't leave now, Harriet. I must get the pipers. It's for England, old gal.
Yes, for England.
Yes. Come in. Welcome and greeting, Baron von Eddy. You're right on time. We never expected you.
Also, are you the Duke von Ole Olsen?
Yeah, sure I am.
And the Fräulein is Countess lean against her?
I am.
Well, I know who I am, so that's that. Countess, you will go to Bombay. Proceed with plan 31KX until you contact Spy F7, who will give you the further instructions concerning the campaign along line 55F or B.
You got pretty deep into that time. That's reduced from 98.50, but still 2 pair of pants.
Nun, it's dot clear?
That is clear.
Ausgezeichnet. Keep in touch with me. Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, Chechanya.
Skull.
Sure he's gone, Pat.
Faith and so he has, Bridget.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Sure, and now we're Irish spies, my darling.
And faith and so we are.
Yes. Sure, and we have to get the papers, Pat.
Faith and so we do, Bridget.
Sure, and it's for Ireland.
Faith and so it is.
So sure.
Faith. Entrez-vous, monsieur.
Who is this?
I am Don Carlos Amici. Carlos.
Yeah, well, I heard you the first time. Who are you?
I am a spy.
Well, welcome. You have come to the right place.
because we are holding a convention.
Then we waste no time. I bring the bombs. You, Count, will place your bomb on the banks of the Mississippi Wabash.
Yeah, senor.
And you, senorita, you explode your bomb on the banks of the Mississippi Hudson.
We'll never get to the Mississippi.
Yeah. But do I pick on the bank, senor?
I hate money. Proceed with your tasks. Adios.
Tally-ho.
Scaram. And now is our chance to get the papers.
What papers?
The evening papers, to see if the Giants are still on top.
Well, after that session with Charlie, intrigue, and mixed dialects, I'm not quite sure who I am. But assuming that I'm still me, I'd like to sing a new song which should put us straight again. Me, myself, and I. I just left the convention, a most important convention. We had quite a lengthy chat, and I'm here to tell you that me, myself, and I are all in love with you. We all think you're wonderful, we do. Me, myself, and I have just one point of view. We're convinced there's no one else like you. It can't be denied, dear. You brought the sun to us. We'd be satisfied, dear, if you belong to one of us. So if you pass me by, 3 hearts will break in two. 'Cause me, myself, and I are all in love with you. Myself and I are all in love with you. We all think you're wonderful, we do. Me, myself, and I have just one point of view. We're convinced there's no one else like you. It can't be denied, dear. You brought the sun to us. We'd be satisfied, dear, if you belong to one of us. So, if you pass me by, 3 hearts will break in two. 'Cause me, myself, and I are all in love with you. Somewhere the sun is shining, somewhere a nose is blooming, somewhere a feud is brewing. Paging W.C. Field. Well, Bill, how's every little thing?
I never pay attention to any little things, Don, excepting Charles.
Why, don't you like Charlie, Bill?
Oh, he talks too much when Bergen's around. When he's alone, he doesn't open his mouth. Hello, Toothache.
Hello, Mr. Field.
Swamp Root, I thought I plowed you under last week.
What's the matter? Don't you love me, Mr. Field?
Yes, I do, Charles. I was going to buy you a little present today, a coat.
Oh, what kind of a coat, Mr. Field?
Coat of paint.
Oh.
I've always thought a shellacking would do you good.
Yeah? Well, why didn't you get it for me?
I tossed a coin that said heads, a coat of shellac for Charles, and tails, a bottle of tonsil varnish for myself.
So what happened, Mr.
I
Field?
tossed the coin and went down the sewer.
Oh.
Just status quo.
Bill, what have you been doing over the weekend?
How about a hotel, Don?
Well, I didn't know you knew anything about hotels,
Oh,
Bill.
yes. I used to own a hotel in Bolivia, South America.
Well, how do you like the Bolivians, Bill?
I love the Bolivians. I had a brother who was killed in Bolivia. Any Bolivians around here? Yes, Brother Felix Wendell Schaefer Fields. Shot at the microphone for eulogizing Bolivia. Was shot through the heart from the top gallery of the theater.
Shot for praising the country, Bill?
Yes, he said the country was too good for the people that lived there. I love Bolivia.
Well, what did they do with the man who shot your brother, Bill? Did they hang him?
No, the verdict was that the man who shot him was one of the best shots in Bolivia.
Boy, I don't think I'd care so much for the Bolivians if they do things like that, Bill.
Don't stand so close to me when you talk that way, Don. I love Bolivians. What was that? I never met a Bolivian that I wasn't passionately fond of.
Oh, that was only a door slamming, Bill.
I was in love with a girl in Bolivia once, Don.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
I don't Bolivia.
Charles, you're nothing but a tease.
Did you ever marry the girl, Bill?
No, she's snoring asleep, Don. In fact, that was her name, Sonora.
Do you love Bolivians better than me, Mr. Fields?
Yes, Charles, I love Bolivians next to you. I wish there were a couple next to you right now.
Well, would you like to go to Bolivia again, Mr. Fields?
How would you like to get down to the sawmill and play hopscotch among the buzzsaws?
Bill, tell me more about your hotel in Bolivia. How did you operate it?
How we operated on the American and European plan, Don. We really ran the hotel on the American plan, but the guests paid off on the European plan.
Are the Bolivians easy to cater to, Bill?
Not exactly, Don. A guest in the hotel complained to me one day. Said, Senor Fields, the towels in my room are not large enough to dry your face on.
Well, what did you say, Bill?
I said, very well, we'll send you less water. I did everything to accommodate them, Don.
Well, did that satisfy him, Bill?
Now, he was always complaining. One day he said the swimming pool was so dirty you couldn't swim in it. I said, what do you think those frogs are doing, treading water? There's two windows in my room and only one screen. The flies are coming in the other window.
Say, do you know, Mr. Fields, you know how to get rid of that red nose of yours?
Yeah, drink until it turns blue.
Go ahead, Bill. The flies were coming in the window without a screen in it.
Yeah, I said, well, take the screen out of the window that they're not coming in and put the screen in the window that they are coming in. Very stupid, some of those fellows.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bill.
Yeah. I love Bolivia. What was that, Don?
Nothing, Bill. Just another door slamming.
Lock those doors, will you? Same fellow fell asleep one day, Don. The flies crawled over his nose. One great big green bottle fly flew in the window, sit down on the end of his proboscis and bit him.
Yeah, well, what did he do then, Bill?
I put his hand up with his face, brushed his nose, and said, just for that, you all get off. You know the right, you know it, yeah.
Wasn't that the hotel you ran right next to a bowling alley?
Yes, it was, yeah. Charles, but it was so quiet you couldn't hear a pin drop.
He's crazy.
You're full of ticks. Huh? Charles, how would you like me to split you three ways into a tripod? Now, my brother.
Your brother? I didn't know we were talking about your brother, Bill.
We will be from now on. I love Bolivia. All right, keep that door shut.
Go ahead, Bill.
One day, going out the rear of the hotel, Don, to milk the elk.
Milk the elk?
Used to keep an elk there, Don. Owl's eggs boiled in elk's milk, smothered with Bolivian onions, is one of the rare delicacies of Bolivia.
Oh, yeah. Go on, Bill, go on.
On the way to milk the elk behind the hotel, I saw Chief Okeechobee of the Appalachia Cola tribe.
That's quite a long name,
That
Bill.
was a tough one, too. Just a nickname, Don. Chief says, howl, pale face, all but the nose. Funny face. Quite a kidder. I said, and how, Okeechobee? The squirrel was sitting under a tree feeding her papoose. She fell asleep, and the baby started to cry. Rattlesnake approached.
Oh, rattlesnakes are horrible, Bill.
Oh, no, not Bolivian rattlesnakes, Don. They're full of intellect and the milk of human kindness.
Is that so, Bill?
Yeah, the rattlesnake shook its rattles and amused the young papoose to prevent it from crying and waking its mother. The snake even took its tail. He even stuck its tail in the baby's mouth so the baby could use it as a pacifier. Did it?
That's a hard way.
I beg your pardon, Don.
I said, is that a true story?
If it isn't, I hope Charles breaks his leg. Both of them.
Oh, Bill, but you forgot to tell me about your brother.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Don. I inherit some of my absent-mindedness from him.
Well, what was this brother's name, Bill?
Oh, I'd answered any name, Don, and stand without hitching. He lost his mind from playing marmalade-peg.
Well, did he ever get it back again?
Oh, yeah, lost his mind. He forgot to play marmalade-peg and got his mind back again. But he's quite a student, Don.
Well, what did he study, Bill?
Oh, at the graduation exercises, the dean called my brother.
Dizzy Dean, I know.
No, Charles, call Hubble.
Oh.
He said, wipe the gum out of your ears, will you? Dizzy Dean called my brother out.
Out where, Bill?
He called him out at second base. What am I talking about?
You're talking about your brother, Bill.
Oh, thanks very much, Don. The dean said to my brother Hamilton...
Oh, his name is Hamilton, is it?
The dean said, Hamilton, you're now a full-fledged doctor.
Boy, I bet your brother was proud of that, huh?
No, Don, he wanted to be a lawyer. The dizzy dean said, but, my son, you have just completed 4 years in medical college.
So what did your brother say to that, Bill?
He said, I came here to be a lawyer, and I'll stay here until I am one. It was all mixed up, Don. He had marmalade peg on the brain.
Did he ever pass the bar?
That was his trouble. He never did. Went to cut a man's appendix out once. After the operation, the patient said, you forgot to cut out my appendix.
So what did your brother say, Bill?
Says, what do you think this is in the jar? The patient says, look at him yourself.
Did your brother look at him?
He did. He said, great heavens, I've removed my own appendix.
That's crazy. Terrible, Bill.
Oh, yeah, my brother, it's sad. He was pleading a case once, and he was so absent-minded, he saw it off the judge's leg. The jury laughed immoderately. No response from the
Boy, he
audience.
certainly was absent-minded.
Yeah, said he took after my cousin Penelope in that respect.
Well, you never told me about your cousin Penelope.
Oh,
was she pretty, Bill?
Oh, her face was so wrinkled, she looked like 7 miles of bad road. She had so many gold teeth, Don, she used to have to sleep with her head in a safe. Died in Bolivia.
Oh, Bill, it must be hard to lose a relative.
It's almost impossible.
Bill, tell me, whatever made you leave Bolivia?
I don't know, Don. I haven't found out to this day. I went to the governor's ball at Paz, Bolivia one night, and I woke up in the hospital next morning in Cucamonga, California.
Well, what happened, Bill?
I threw the covers off my pad and reached for the bell. The nurse came in and said, you've broken all cross-country records between here and Bolivia, and you're the only man alive who ever jumped clear across the Panama Canal. Says, whatever made you try to kiss the governor of Bolivia's wife?
Oh, well, that was a silly thing to do, Bill. Whatever made you do it?
I don't know, Don. Must have been something I drank.
Yeah. How far is Bolivia from Cucamonga, Mr. Field?
Just one night's run, John.
Can I stay at your hotel, Mr. Field?
Yes, you can stand in the corner. I'll drive spikes in your head, and you can be the official hat rack.
Now, Bill, don't pick on Charlie that way.
Oh, he can't hurt me, Mr. Amici. I belong to the CIO.
CIO, eh? Can't injure Oaks.
No.
Come, Charles, let me take you for a little walk.
Where are we going, Mr. Field?
What do you care? You're not coming back. I love Bolivia. I love Bolivia. I've forgotten the words to sing.
He loves Bolivia, so thank you, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, and thank you very much, W.C. Field.
Well, here we are, back again.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The meeting is called to order.
Well, you sound very businesslike, Charlie.
I am, and definitely, too. The members of the September Sales Committee will answer the roll call. Don Amici?
Present, Sir Charles.
Carlton Cadell?
Accounted for, Chairman McCarthy.
I hate to call his next name, but if I must, I must. W.C. Fields.
I couldn't come today, Windwood.
If he picks on me again, I'll commit suicide.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If the grubs don't get you, then the termites must.
Yeah. As chairman in charge of the Chase and Sanborn's big September coffee sale.
Falderall and Gadzooks. I am the originator of that, the creator of the big noise.
You mean the big nose?
Charles.
I have arranged to have a handsome picture of myself and Mr. Fields appear in the American Weekly next Sunday.
My profile on the same page with that Pope head?
Yes. Why do you say that, Mr. Fields?
I'd like to fill you with whiskey, stuff a cork in your mouth, and let it age in the wood.
Well, anyhow, to spread the good news of Chase and Sanborn's big September sale of their swell coffee, remember, September.
It's the September, October. Housewives, do not be surprised if any morning now you will find me at your back door selling Chase and Sanborn coffee.
Remember, September.
Gentlemen, in the spirit of this occasion, it behooves me to call to the attention of every woman who looks for special sales. The big September sale on Chase and Sanborn coffee.
This coming week and all the rest of this month, every housewife in the United States and Canada should take advantage of the big September sale on Chase and Sanborn dated coffee. The superb coffee you can be sure is fresh. Remember, this fine blend is guaranteed fresh by a unique dating and delivery system. Every bag is rushed fresh to your grocer with a delivery date plainly marked on it to protect you from staleness. Stale coffee is bad for you. That's why we date our coffee. You can't get headaches, you can't get upset stomach, you can't get nerves from this perfectly fresh dated coffee. Start now to protect yourself and your family from stale, rancid-tasting coffee by drinking dated coffee. With freshness guaranteed by our dating and delivery system, we have been able to do away with all high-priced containers. So you are already saving money on dated coffee in the economical paper bag. And now, during our entire September sale, your grocer is authorized to offer you dated coffee at special reduced prices. Don't miss these extra savings during September. The next time you buy coffee, order a pound of Chase and Sanborn dated coffee. The coffee you know is fresh.
Wagner's opera, Tannhäuser, Nelson Eddy brings us one of the most beloved of all operatic arias. The song which Wolfram sings as he stands alone in the twilight and prays to the evening star. Nelson Eddy singing the beautiful song to the evening star. Thanks a million. And since all things must come to an end, I am saying goodbye now for all of us. For our guest, Miss Ida Lupino, and for our regular company, Nelson Eddy, W.C. Fields, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, Dorothy Lamour, and Robert Armbruster. And may I say to all of you who have listened to this broadcast that this hour with you is made possible by your purchases of Chase and Sanborn dated coffee. Such purchases are the finest way of telling us that you enjoy our show. But before we leave you, Robert Armbruster would like to say a musical farewell with his version of the Minuet in G.
In the Dark from Artists and Models and The Big Show from Head Over Heels. This is Carlton Cadell speaking for the makers of Chase and Sanborn Coffee.
This is the Red Network of the National Broadcasting Company.
87 years ago, September 5th, 1937, the Chase and Sanborn Hour on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Coming up tomorrow, Crime. Jack Webb in Dragnet, Stotts Cotsworth as Inspector Thorne, also an episode of Counter Spy in the case of the arrogant arsonist, an episode of Confession, a 15-year-old boy involved in this one, and an episode of Claudia. That's all coming up tomorrow. But right now, the Aldrich Family in just a moment.
Home shelters can protect you from radioactive fallout. Are you prepared?
Hey, Joe, you're causing a small riot in the neighborhood. What's going on over here? Well, finally got smart, huh?
Right, this shelter's going to be finished, even if I lose a couple of fingers doing it.
Don't let that enthusiasm carry you too far, Joe. But getting that home shelter completed is mighty important to you and your family. Even if you live far from a target area, there's still a chance you may be subjected to radioactive fallout.
Tests have shown that the best protection against fallout is an underground shelter covered with at least 3 feet of earth. A basement shelter will offer good protection if you close off all windows, exterior entrances, and bank exposed walls. In homes without basements, first-floor areas with the least exterior exposure, such as bathroom, utility room, or hallways, should be selected.
Remember, a strong defense begins with a prepared family and ends with a protected nation.
Be prepared. Those shelter plans could be your blueprint for survival.
We continue here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Ezra Stone, Jackie Kelk, in an episode of The Aldrich Family from 84 years ago, September 5th, 1940.
The Aldrich Family, based on characters originated by Clifford Goldsmith, and starring Ezra Stone as Henry, with Jackie Kelk as Homer.
Henry Aldrich.
Coming, Mother.
All of us know a town like Centerville, a family like the Aldriches, and all of us know a teenage boy like Henry Aldrich. Anything is likely to happen when Henry is around, and it usually does. As our scene opens tonight, we find Henry Aldrich in the dining room with his father and mother.
Mother, will you have some more peas?
No, thank you. You finished a few peas there are there.
Oh, I wouldn't think of touching them. Father, wouldn't you like these peas?
No, thank you.
I think you ought to have them, Father. I'll just scrape them into your plate.
Henry, I don't want them.
Would you like some bread, Mother?
No, dear. Now just stop passing things and eat.
Well, if you do want anything, just ask for it, huh? Boy, did I see a swell movie this afternoon.
I'm going out and get some butter.
Sit still, Mother. I'll go out and get it.
I'll get it.
Give me the dish, Mother. My goodness, one would think you had nothing to do but run around waiting on all of us.
Sam, will you please tell me what's gotten into Henry?
I've no more idea than you. I offered him his allowance a few minutes ago, and he refused it.
Well, something's wrong.
After dinner, you'd better take his temperature.
Here you are, Mother. Will you have some butter?
No, thank you.
Oh, go ahead and take a little, Mother.
I have some.
Here. Did I tell you I saw a movie this afternoon?
I believe you did.
Boy, was there a swell guy in it.
Sam, don't forget when you're downtown tomorrow to get 2 decks of cards and bring them home at noon.
Oh, giving a bridge party?
I am.
Well, listen, there's no reason in the world why I couldn't get those cards for you.
That's what I was waiting for.
Give him $1, Sam, if he wants to help.
Henry, are you quite sure none of this has anything to do with your conscience?
My conscience?
Mm-hmm.
What conscience?
Then you haven't any?
No, sir.
I'm not surprised.
Mother, about how much do you spend a week on food?
While Mary's away, about $14.
Well, from now on, I'm paying my share.
Why, Henry Aldrich, you're not going to do anything of the kind.
Yes, I am, Mother. No more free eating for me.
Have you struck oil, Henry?
I haven't struck oil, but I've got a job. How much do you think I ought to pay a week for my room?
I've no idea.
Well, supposing I was a stranger here and you didn't know me, and I came to the door and said, I want a room. How much would you charge me?
Personally, I wouldn't even let you in.
Well, why not?
Not if your hands look the way they do right this minute.
Well, gee whiz, I'll go right up and wash them. But before I go, let's settle on a price. Would $3 a week be too much?
What kind of a job do you have?
You'll learn soon enough. I begin tomorrow morning, and I'm going to give half of every cent I make to the Red Cross or something.
Well, isn't that fine?
That movie I saw this afternoon was called The Generous Gentleman. And boy, was it swell. The gentleman did kind things for everybody.
Did he?
And did people like him? Even when he became old, everybody liked him. And this swell-looking girl that never liked him before finally fell in love with him.
Henry, eat your mashed potatoes.
Yes, Father. From now on, I'm going to help my friends and do little things for strangers that are in trouble. And from now on, Mother, you'll never have to tell me more than once to do anything.
Then for the last time, will you please go up and wash your hands?
Yes, Mother, but first let me tell you how I'm going to help people.
Young man, have I ever seen you around this golf course before?
Well, I've been around it.
Ever had any experience caddying?
Well, after all, there isn't much to carrying a bag of clubs, is there?
If there were any other boys on hand, I wouldn't even consider you. Now stand back while I put this ball on the tee.
Yes, sir. But you don't have to worry about me. I know that when you're going to hit the ball, I should keep very quiet.
That's fine.
Personally, I think if you're being paid to do something, you ought to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just to keep quiet. Do you want me to put that ball back on the tee for you?
No, thank you. Just stand back.
Yes, sir.
And keep your eye on this ball. When I hit it, I left my glasses at home.
Oh, gee, I have wonderful eyesight.
Good.
Yes, sir. Everybody speaks about it. have you seen the picture called The Generous Gentleman?
Will you please stand back? I'd like to hit this ball. 4 down there.
Oh, I know who that is down there.
What do you mean by yelling just as I swing?
Oh, did I frighten you?
I didn't make a terrible shot.
Have you hit it already?
Didn't you have your eye on it?
Well, we'll find it all right. It might have gone over here to the left.
What makes you think so?
Well, we'll look to the left first and then work around.
The reason I didn't hit it straighter is because of this coat.
Would you like to have me carry your coat?
All the way around the course?
Gee, I don't mind a little thing like that, especially if it helps anybody.
All right, here.
I'll throw it right over my shoulder. Oh, Herbert.
Hiya, Henry.
I thought that was you.
Boy, there are a lot of balls out on this course. I picked up 4s just since I got here.
Kathy, have you found my ball?
Not yet, Mr. Eddy, but Herbert says this is a very good place to look for them.
Here it is, right here.
Oh, have we found it? I thought it would be to the left.
Let me have my mashie.
Your mashie? Do you think that's the best one to use for a shot like that?
I'd like my mashie.
Yes, sir.
And when I hit the ball this time, keep your eye on it.
Yes, sir. No more talking.
And this other young man, don't stand so near.
No, sir.
Herbert, have you seen a picture called The Generous Gentleman?
Young man.
Yes, sir. Herbert.
Why?
He's about to swing the club.
Oh. What's the name of that picture, Henry?
Caddy, may I ask who this young man is?
Oh, I guess I didn't introduce you, did I? This is Herbert.
How do you do, sir?
What are you doing here?
I asked him to meet me here.
What for?
He wants to learn how to caddy. I told him the easiest way would be to watch me.
I see. Well, supposing, Herbert, you go over and sit under that shady tree. Not the nearest tree, nor the one just beyond, but the one way over on the far side of the fairway.
Yes, sir.
Don't be hurt, Herbert. People that are new at this game are always easily upset.
Young man.
Yes, sir?
Have you your eye on this ball?
Yes, sir.
Very well, then. Here goes.
Gee whiz, what a sock.
Where did it go?
It hit that tree. Where did you learn to shoot so straight?
I never made a shot like that before.
I didn't think you should have used your mashie.
The whole trouble is this sweater.
Oh, that's all right. Just take it off. I'll carry it.
You're sure you don't mind?
Gee whiz, I'm here to serve you, aren't I?
All right. Here. Give me the number 3 iron.
The number 3?
Yes, sir.
You want me to roll that log out of your way?
No, thank you. I'll show you how to put the ball right straight down on that green.
Okay.
And don't say a word.
No, sir.
Hey, Henry.
Whiz, look at that ball travel, Herbert. Almost in a circle.
That's the first time I ever made a shot like that.
You know, Mr. Eddy, I had a feeling you shouldn't use that number 3.
The trouble is my collar's too tight.
Want me to take your necktie?
You sure it won't be too much trouble?
Gee, no, I'll just roll it up and stuff it in my pocket.
Did you see where the ball landed?
Yes, sir. Do you see that clump of trees to the left?
Uh-huh.
And that house on the other side of the road?
Yes.
Well, it went right in the yard of the house just beyond.
How did it do that?
Well, I guess you just laid into it.
All right. Give me another ball there. I'll hit it on down. You go over and get that other one and meet me at the green.
Yes, sir. Here you are. I'll run all the way.
And don't come back without that ball.
Oh, you don't have to worry. I saw exactly where it went, I think. Pardon me. Pardon me.
Was there something you wanted?
Did you see a golf ball land in your backyard?
Well, if one did, you better get it before Papa does.
I should?
Yes. Papa says it's because things like that our chickens won't lay.
I wonder where that one of mine went.
Well, I'd help you, only I'm having some trouble with this garden hose.
What's the matter?
Well, the spigot on the side of the house won't turn on.
Well, gee whiz, let me give you a hand.
Well, don't get all wet.
Oh, don't worry about me. I can turn it. Have you seen The Generous Gentleman?
The what?
It's a swell picture I saw yesterday. In it, a guy went out in the rain as a favor to somebody. And guess what? He got soaking wet, too.
He did?
Yeah. Oh, that's strange.
Well, won't it turn off?
You know, I think I can fix it.
Say, isn't this your ball right here?
So it is. Look, I think if I just slip the handle of this golf club into the spokes of the faucet, I can get a little leverage on it.
Oh, my goodness, look at your shoes.
Look, the club just fits in.
Oh, good gracious, look at what you've done to it.
Imagine. I almost bent his number 3 iron double.
Well, can you straighten it?
I think I can. Fortunately, it's steel. There. Unless you held it right up to your eye, you'd hardly notice it had been bent. I'll try the faucet once more.
Oh, now look at what you've done.
Gee whiz, I broke it off. You don't have another faucet, do you?
Oh, of course we don't.
Do you have a telephone?
No, we don't.
Well, don't you have anything for an emergency like
No.
this? Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll run over to the clubhouse and telephone for a plumber.
But how about the basement? Oh, it's running right into it.
I'll have someone here before you know it. Imagine this.
What is it?
I found $1 in my pocket. It's to get my mother some playing cards, but I can get them with the money I earned for caddying. Here, you take it.
Well, what for?
To pay for the faucet.
Why should you pay for it?
Well, I broke it, didn't I? Here, go ahead. You take it.
Well, thank you.
I'll take these clubs and this sweater and coat, and I'll run every step of the way.
Well, hurry.
Goodbye, and I'm very glad to have been a help to you.
Hey, Henry, is that you?
Yes, Herbert. Does this road swing around to the clubhouse?
Yeah, where have you been?
I've been busy.
Well, Mr. Eddy says he needs you.
I wonder whether I ought to help him a little before I put in that call.
I see a ball, Henry. I'll see you later.
Hey, buddy.
Who's that?
Come back up here on the road a second, will you? My car's stuck in the mud.
The only trouble is I've got a couple other things to do.
Well, couldn't you lend a fellow a hand?
You need some help?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I can assist you. Start your motor. No, don't start it quite so fast.
Okay.
Just start it real slow, see? Now, look, I'll tell you what. Back up until I stop moving my hands.
You won't let me drop into the ditch, will you?
Oh, no, there's some boards over it.
Okay.
Come on. Come on. Oh, gee whiz.
You ought to hear what I'm saying.
Mister, do you have a shovel?
What would I be doing with a shovel?
Well, you certainly need one. Wait a minute, here comes a car behind you. Hello there. Hello.
Won't you please let me get by?
Well, could you pull up against this gentleman and push?
Oh, my goodness, I can't drive that well.
Well, would you like to have me take the wheel?
Oh, it won't take more than a minute. I'm in a terrible hurry.
Well, it won't take a second. You better stand over there so you don't get any mud splashed on you.
Well, that's very thoughtful of you, I'm sure.
Gee whiz, that's the least I can do. This reminds me of a moving picture that's in town this week.
How are you coming?
Are you ready ahead there?
Come on.
Here we go.
Be careful.
Isn't that strange?
How far in are you?
Even deeper than you.
And what am I to do?
Well, I'll tell you, miss, I've got to go to the clubhouse and phone a plumber anyhow. I'd be very glad to put in a call for a tow car at the same time.
And in the meantime, I'm due downtown at court.
You are?
And if I'm not there, I have to forfeit $25.
Well, my father's a lawyer, and I'll phone him, too, and tell him to go down and fix things for you.
Are you sure he can?
Oh, gee, he's like me. He likes to do things for people.
In the same way?
Well, I'll beat it over and phone right away.
Well, my name is Mrs. McGill.
Yes, ma'am.
And the charges are for talking back to an officer.
Yes, ma'am. And if you get a chance to see that picture of the guy that was so nice to everyone, don't miss it.
Henry, I thought you were going to see Mr. Eddy.
Herbert, will you go over to the clubhouse for me?
I can't, Henry. I'm finding so many balls.
You are?
Sure, I just sold 6 to Mr. Eddy.
Well, where is he?
You go right through those trees there into the underbrush.
Okay.
And then go straight through to the swamp.
Okay.
Tell him he's foolish to look in there, though. I've already cleaned that part out.
Mr. Eddy! Oh, Mr. Eddy!
Where have you been?
I just want to tell you I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
To call a plumber.
What for?
I got a lady in a ditch.
How did you get a lady in a ditch?
I was trying to get another guy out.
When?
Right after I busted a faucet for a girl.
What faucet?
The girls! Would you like to wear your coat or sweater or anything?
I would not.
Boy, have I been having a tough time.
You've been having a tough time.
I just played 4 holes with 1 club.
How did you do?
Young man, have you had a sunstroke?
No, sir. Do I look pale?
Are you going to caddy for me?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Eddy. I'll give you 2 more clubs. That ought to hold you while I go up and phone.
Oh, no, you don't. You caddy now or never.
But you don't realize the position you're putting everyone in.
Come here with that bag.
I can't help them.
You're going around with me if I have to drive you around with this club.
Now, getting back to the troubles of Henry Aldrich. Henry has decided to be kind and helpful to everyone he meets. So far, he's done very well. While caddying on the golf course for a Mr. Eddy, he's broken a water spigot and run 2 cars into a muddy ditch. Well, as the scene opens, Henry is speaking.
Mr. Eddy. Mr. Eddy. As soon as you've knocked the ball over this water hazard, could I just run up and phone?
Give me my number 3 iron.
Your number 3 iron? Isn't that the one you used that took me away for so long?
May I have it?
Yes, Mr. Eddy. Then may I put in that call?
Stand back, please.
Yes.
You know, if I hadn't left my glasses behind, I'd swear this club was crooked.
You really think so?
Henry!
What, Herbert?
Which way's he going to hit that ball?
Over the water hazard, and you keep away from it.
Come here, Herbert.
4.
Boy, what a shot.
That was his ball. That was the head of his club.
I never did a thing like that before.
Gee, they certainly make clubs poorly nowadays.
Give me my number 2 iron.
Mr. Eddy, I really think you ought to let me pay for that number 3.
What became of my ball?
Herbert, put that ball back.
I just wanted to see whether it was his.
Whose did you think it would be?
It's yours, all right.
Herbert, could you step over here to one side a minute?
What do you have?
Now then, let's see what this iron does.
Listen, Herbert, I want you to go to the clubhouse and put in 3 phone calls. If they won't let you, say it's for Mr. Eddy. 1 call is to a plumber to shut off some water. 1 is to a garage to...
Yes, Mr. Aldrich.
Will you take a letter, please?
Mr. Aldrich, while you were out to lunch, a young man by the name of Herbert Thompson telephoned.
Herbert? Oh, Henry's friend. What did he want?
Well, the fact is he seemed rather confused. At any rate, you're to go down to court at once and help get Henry out of trouble.
What kind of trouble?
All I understand was your son has talked back to some officer.
That's a fine thing. I can't possibly go down. I'm scheduled for a conference. Impertinence to an officer, huh? What did he say to him?
I don't know.
Well, Henry can just stay down there. I don't believe in interfering with the law.
I understand if you don't straighten things out, the fine will be $25.
$25? Call the committee and tell them I'll be late.
You're going to court?
Of course I am. I can't afford to pay $25 any more than anyone else can. Now, who's that?
I've no idea. Hello? Yes? 1 moment, please. Mr. Aldrich, I have a message for you.
Who is it?
Mrs. Aldrich says she has a whole house full of guests waiting to play bridge, and there aren't any cards.
Didn't Henry get them?
He doesn't seem to have.
Well, here, take this dollar, close up the office, and get her some cards.
Excuse me, sir.
What is it, young man?
Have you seen Mr. Eddy around the clubhouse here?
Oh, Mr. Eddy is still down in the locker room.
Well, will you tell him I found his coat, but I'm sorry we mislaid his sweater.
Yes, sir.
1 moment, young man.
Oh, I found your coat, Mr. Eddy, but I think I ought to tell you. The fellow with the lawnmower ran over one of the sleeves.
He did. Well, I'm not surprised.
But, Mr. Eddy, all I was trying to do when I carried it was to help you.
Yes.
I was trying to serve you.
Here's 50, 75, $1. Now, let's just forget that we ever even met.
Well, frankly, I don't feel I should even take the money.
Just take it and let's not say anything more about it. There's just one thing for which I suppose I ought to thank you.
What's that?
For 15 years, my wife has been trying to get me to give up golf. Today, I'm giving it up.
Forever?
Forever.
Well, I'm certainly sorry.
Let's not discuss it anymore. If we ever meet on the street, let's not even speak to each other.
Yes, Mr. Eddy.
Now then, do you think you can do one more thing for me and do it right?
Oh, yes, sir. Anything you say.
All right. Go around in front of the clubhouse and tell the boy to bring my car here.
Yes, sir.
But don't you go near the car. Don't you even touch the car.
No, sir. And where will you be? Here?
I will be right over here at the desk, talking to Mr. Bloodhouse.
Yes, sir.
Did you want me, Mr. Eddy?
I do.
Something gone wrong, Mr. Eddy?
Wrong? I just want to tell you what I think of the way your entire club is run.
Did something in particular go wrong?
I hire a caddy to look for my golf balls, and I spend my whole day looking for my caddy.
Well,
do you know what my score was? 185.
Well,
I usually do it at 120. And then to add insult to injury, I come into the locker room looking forward to a shower.
Oh, just a minute, Mr. Eddy. That's something I want to tell you.
Don't interrupt me. I get under the shower, and in the midst of my bath, the water is shut off. Completely shut off.
Well, that's what I want to explain. It's something over which we had no control. Through some misdirection, a plumber came here, and unknown to us, shut off all the water in the clubhouse.
Why?
Well, all we know is some young man called him.
That is no excuse. The fact still remains that underneath my clothes right this minute, I am covered with soap suds.
Well, I'm very sorry.
Sorry? Did you ever walk around with suds on you?
Oh, no, sir.
Try it sometime.
Mr. Eddy, I have some rather disconcerting news for you.
Now, what happened?
Was yours a black roadster?
What has happened to it?
Nothing except that the fella out in front says that sometime this afternoon, a man from a garage came and towed it away.
Towed it? Who told him to do that?
He didn't know. He just said somebody had phoned for him to come and get it. Father, would you like some more butter?
No, thank you.
Are you sure you're going to have enough?
Henry, if I were you, I wouldn't bother your father anymore.
Oh. Is he tired, Mother?
He is. Both tired and embarrassed.
Did something go wrong?
Not a thing. All I did was miss a yearly business meeting in order to bail my son out of jail for talking back to an officer who didn't know anything about it.
Father, that was entirely Herbert's fault.
Oh, no. No, it wasn't. It was your fault. Trying to be kind to someone you didn't even know.
Well, it's a funny thing, but things didn't work out like this in The Generous Gentleman.
Did the generous gentleman forget to bring cards for his mother's bridge party?
Mother, I'm going to pay you back that $1 you gave me for the cards. I really am. I'd give you what I earned this afternoon, only I paid that to Mrs. McGill toward her fine.
You gave your $1 to Mrs. McGill?
Yes, sir. And I told her if there was ever anything I could do to help her, I'd be very glad to.
And what did she say?
She said she was quite sure there wasn't a thing I could do. Oh, I'll answer the phone, Mother.
Just eat your dinner. I'll see who it is.
Yes, Mother.
Henry, when does school start?
In a few days. Why?
No reason. I was just wondering.
Is there anything I can pass you, Father?
No, thank you.
Gee, the more I think about how Herbert balled things up today...
Hey, do you know a Mr. Eddy?
Mr. Eddy? Yeah, in a way. Why?
He just phoned.
For me? Does he want me to caddy for him tomorrow?
He wants to know whether you have his necktie.
Oh, gee whiz, I've got it in my pocket. I'll take it to him tomorrow.
He said you're not to take it to him. You're to mail it to him.
Well, that's certainly very thoughtful of him, because I'd planned to do something else tomorrow.
What?
Well, I wasn't able to give the Red Cross any money today, and I thought I'd go over and help them instead.
Here, Henry, is $1.
$1? What for?
For the Red Cross. They're having enough problems without your going over and helping them.
Listen again next week, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with your favorite youngster, his family, and his pals. The Aldrich Family, starring Ezra Stone, is written by Clifford Goldsmith.
And there you have it, the Aldrich Family from 84 years ago, September 5th, 1940, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. By the way, Jackie Kelk wasn't just playing Homer. He also was over on Superman, whom you'll hear in a few minutes here. He was Jimmy Olsen in that show. So there you go. Coming up next, Penny Singleton.
Look at that lightning.
Ooh, close the door, Jim. There's a draft.
What lousy weather.
Oh, darn, there go the lights.
And the refrigerator.
What if our power really failed? I mean an attack on our country. No gas or electricity, no refrigerator, no freezer. What would we do?
The first thing to remember is this. Keep your refrigerator and freezer closed as much as possible.
If gas or electric service isn't restored within 12 hours, eat or cook the most perishable items in your refrigerator before they spoil.
If you can't cook them, throw them out before they contaminate other foods.
With freezers, check your service book. It will tell you how long you can keep food without power. Meat and other frozen foods can be preserved by cooking them soon after they have thawed.
What you can't eat or cook immediately must be thrown away.
Be prepared. Your local civil defense director urges you to learn what to do when public utilities fail.
Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues now with an episode of The Penny Singleton Show, a summer series from September 5th, 1950, 74 years ago today, The Peppermint King.
NBC presents The Penny Singleton Show. On stage tonight from Hollywood, another of NBC's outstanding half-hour presentations, The Penny Singleton Show.
Hello. Happy you're listening.
A boy's best friend is his mother, but to Penny Williamson, a girl's best friend is her daughter. Penny, a young, attractive widow, has two, DG, 13, and Sue, 8. And the other night, when she tiptoed quietly into their room, she found them sitting in bed in the dark, talking about her.
We might as well face it, Sue. Mother's too innocent. Well, she doesn't know anything about man.
She sure hasn't explained them very well to me.
Well, that's just it. Why, when it comes to men, Mother's a babe in the woods. Why, something terrible could happen to her.
Sure it could. Something awful terrible. What could happen to her, DG?
Well, you're too young. You wouldn't even know what I was talking about.
Aw, tell me, DG.
Yes, for Pete's sake, tell her, DG. The suspense is killing me.
Mother, what are you doing in here?
I came in to make sure you two were asleep. Now scoot under those covers.
Okay.
Well, I was only saying...
Good night, Sue.
Night.
Well, I was just saying that you're young...
Can it wait till morning, dear?
Well, you're young and pretty and...
Yes, in the morning, dear. Young and pretty and what?
And attractive to men.
Oh, I'm not. I mean, I am.
Are we going to stay awake?
Of course you're attractive to men, Mother. Well, you certainly know how to dress. Just take a look at the women on those fashion calendars. They have nothing on you.
Well, thank you, dear.
The women on the men's calendars have nothing on them either. That's what Margaret said.
Well, never mind what Margaret said. DG, why all this sudden concern about me and men?
Well, golly, Mother, you wouldn't want to marry one, would you?
Oh, I don't know. I've always heard they make the best husbands.
But suppose you suddenly decided to marry someone like Mr. Wiggins, your real estate partner. He's a man.
He is? I mean, of course he is. But I don't intend to marry Mr. Wiggins, so why worry about it?
She's just sore because Tommy Trammell gave her the air.
Oh? He did not. I'm just being aloof, that's all. I think we should all go up to Lake Panatog and be aloof for a week.
Well, it's sweet of you to think of it, darling, but that costs money.
But only $5 a day. Special family rates. Golly, Mother, everybody goes away this time of the year, and even if it's only to Lake Panatawag, and it's so romantic.
Yeah, frog hunting in the moonlight.
And they have tennis at the lodge and square dancing.
And raccoons, too.
Oh, please, Mother, please. Linda's going and the Sloanes.
And Tommy Trammell.
Oh, Tommy Trammell. I guess we don't want to go then if that old Tommy Trammell's going.
Oh, he's not old, Mother. He still shaves with his mother's manicure scissors.
All right, if you're going to make fun of him.
Oh, but DG, darling, we're not making fun of him. Besides, I thought you were being aloof with Tommy.
Well, that's just it. How can I be aloof if he's 100 miles away?
Well, I know, dear, but do you really want to go to Lake Patawag that badly?
Oh, yes, Mother, more than anything.
Well, I don't know exactly how we'll do it, but we'll do it.
Oh, Mother, you're an angel, a perfect angel.
Thank you, darling. In that case, I better go see if I can find an old miracle lying around.
Miss Williamson, are you going to drink that tea or just stir it to death?
What? Oh, yes, I was just thinking.
No. You want to look at the morning paper, Miss Williamson?
No, thanks. Say, Margaret, how could I make an extra $100 quickly?
Oh, well, that's easy. You could, well, why don't you, or if you just, would $1.75 help you any?
I'm afraid not, Margaret. I promised the girls last night I'd take them up to Lake Patawag for a week.
Oh, there's the place.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever notice how romantic the moon is on water, Mrs. Williamson? Leonard Frybacker took me rowing in the park last night. It was just beautiful.
Rowing in the park does sound romantic, all right.
Yeah. I can hardly move a muscle this morning.
Oh, Margaret. Well, I don't know, but I've just got to find some way to pay for a week at Lake Patawag.
Why don't you borrow a few dollars from your so-called partner, Mr. Wiggins? He just uses it to stuff his shoes.
No, thanks. I don't want to be obligated to Horace Wiggins. Besides, I think he must spend everything he makes on pills. He even has pills to take when he gets sick from taking pills.
If you had the money this young what's-his-name in the paper has, you could go around the world twice without a transfer.
Who's young what's-his-name?
Why, his picture's right here in the paper. Let's see, I'll find it for you. Oh, yeah, here it is. Randolph Donahue III.
Donahue? The Peppermint King?
His son. He's in town to buy property for his father's new peppermint factory. Boy, is he smooth.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Tall, dark, and why do I get something like Leonard Frybacker?
Let me see that paper, Margaret.
No, right here. Well, that's him. Supposed to be quite a ladies' man.
I know the type. He may be a man, but I doubt if they're ladies.
He is kind of wolfy looking, isn't he? How can anything that beady-eyed make a living off of peppermint?
I wonder if...
If what, Miss Williamson?
If I could sell Mr. Randolph Donahue III that vacant property out near the box factory, I'd have more than enough for a week at Lake Patawag.
Oh, not if Mr. Wiggins finds out you're going to use the extra bonus to go away for a week.
Then all I have to do is to get to Mr. Donahue before Mr. Wiggins does.
How?
In my new red dress and hat.
Miss Williamson, that dress that fits you like a...
Certainly.
The one with the slit up the...
Yep.
And the top down to... Mrs. Williamson, you wouldn't dare.
Oh, wouldn't I? There's more than one way to skin a cat, Margaret.
Yeah, but this cat's a wolf.
Then set out the traps. Little Red Riding Hood is going upstairs and slip into the bait.
operator, I must speak to Mr. Donahue. It's important. Did you tell him it was Mr. Wiggins of Wiggins and Williamson?
I told him, sir.
Well, what did he say?
He said he didn't care if you were Sam of Uncle and Sam.
But I tell you, it's important that I speak to Mr. Donahue.
Morning, Horace.
Oh, yes, Aunt Prunella. Yes, Aunt Prunella, I will, Aunt Prunella. Goodbye, Aunt Prunella.
Who was that? Aunt Prunella?
Yes, sort of. What? Why, Penny, you look positively ravishing today.
You mean different than I usually look?
Well, no, I didn't mean that exactly, but you usually wear a suit to the office. And that dress, I mean, it's so, well, the skirt is, and the top is too, I think it's time for my green pill. Care for green pill, pet? No, of course you don't.
I think you'd better push your eyeballs back in your head before they start rolling around the office.
Penny, dear, why won't you marry me and let me give you the things you should have?
What, green pills?
If you like, anything your heart desires.
Well, right now my heart desires to make a deal so I can afford to take the girls up to Lake Patawag for a week.
But, Penny, a whole week without you? Besides, how can you afford a week at Lake Patawag?
Oh, well, I'm going to close a deal this morning.
Deal? What kind of a deal?
Oh, just a business deal.
What kind of a business deal?
Oh, you wouldn't be interested, Horace.
Oh.
I'm just going to sell that dirty old property out by the box factory.
Oh, you're just going to sell that dirty old property out by the box factory?
Yes.
Isn't that a coincidence? So am I.
Oh. Well, I guess I'd better get going then, I guess.
Oh, wait. Well, I'll go with you, Penny.
Oh.
Well, toodaloo. I'm going this way.
Well, toodaloo. So am I.
But I'm going down to the Hotel Drake.
So am I.
Penny, wait a minute.
What?
Penny, are you by any chance going to see Randolph Donahue III?
Yes, I am.
But you can't. I forbid it. I absolutely forbid it.
You forbid it.
I should have known, so that's why you got all dressed up. So you could use your feminine wiles on him. Well, I forbid it, Penny.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Horace.
Yes, Penny?
You know something?
What?
Last one down there is an old for sale sign.
Penny, wait for me! Penny!
Boy! Rock boy.
Penny, don't pick up that phone.
I certainly will pick up this phone. I got here first, and I'm going to call Mr. Donahue.
You only got here first because my car stalled at that stoplight.
That's what wins wars, Horace.
Besides, do you know what kind of a man this Donahue is?
No. How many kinds are there?
Switchboard.
Mr. Donahue, please.
Mr. Donahue, just a moment, please.
It's nothing but a ladies' man, Penny, a dallier, pure and simple. Maybe not so pure, but simple anyway. That's what he'll do. He'll dally with your affections.
Good. My affections haven't been dallied with in years.
Penny, bite your tongue.
Now, don't try to talk me out of the big half of this commission, Horace. I'm going to take DG and Sue to Lake Patawag for a week, come dilly-dally or Donahue.
Hello.
Hello. Is this Mr. Donahue?
Well, I must be in heaven. You sound like an angel.
No, I'm... Oh, I don't really.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Do angels have names, Angel?
Names? Mine's Penny Angel. Mine's Penny Williamson. Of Williamson and Wiggins, real estate brokers.
Wiggins and Williamson, if you don't mind.
Real estate? I thought all women real estate brokers were baritones. You sound like about, something around 5'2".
3.
Eyes are blue.
Green, bluish green.
Oh.
What's he want, a description of the property?
About 112?
11.
Tell him it's all out by the box factory.
Brunette, huh?
Blonde.
Oh.
That doesn't sound like any property out by the box factory.
Look, Mr. Donahue, this is all very charming, but I have a business deal I'd like to talk over with you.
Why, of course, Angel. Of course. Anytime you say.
Well, how about right now? I'm down in the lobby.
Lobby? Oh, why didn't you say so, Angel? Standing down there in that cold, drafty old lobby. Come on up to my room.
Good, I'll be right up to your room?
Sure, Angel. Room 612. Don't knock. I'll meet you at the elevator.
Yes, but I can't. Oh, dear.
Don't louse up the deal, Penny. Don't louse up the deal. I'll go up.
But if you go up, I won't be able to take the girls to Lake Patawag.
Well, that's what wins wars, Penny, remember?
Angel? Are you still there, Angel?
Yes, I'm still here. And Mr. Wiggins will be up there.
Who?
Goodbye.
No, wait, Angel! Angel!
All right, Horace, you win. Go on up and close the deal.
Good, Penny, good. Oh, no hard feelings.
No, of course not, Horace. No hard feelings. I guess that washes up DG's week at Lake Patawag, though. Some angel I turned out to be.
Oh, I imagine she'll still think so, Penny.
Maybe so, Horace. But I'll bet I'm the first angel that ever muffed a miracle.
For Act Two of the Penny Singleton Show. Well, Penny has lost a chance to sell some very valuable property, so she won't be able to take her daughters, DG and Sue, to Lake Patawag for a vacation. And we can't blame her for feeling low as she starts to leave Donahue's hotel.
Oh, miss. Pardon me, miss.
What?
I just wanted to look at you.
Oh, well, go right ahead and look. You seem to be enjoying yourself. Yes, those are feet. I have 2, one left and one right. Oh, and those are legs. I also have 2 of those. And these are arms. Oh, excuse me. You're still on the legs. Ready?
Oh, blonde hair. Huh?
Oh, wait a minute. You're getting ahead of me.
Bluish green eyes. About 111. 5 feet. Angel.
Oh, you must be Randolph Donahue III.
All the other angels I know call me Randy.
Mm-hmm. And their wings drop off 5 seconds later.
So you're Miss Williamson, huh?
Correction, please. I'm Mrs. Williamson.
Oh.
I'm a widow.
Oh.
What?
I mean, oh.
Oh. Say, I just remembered. Where's Mr. Wiggins? He went up to your room to make a deal with you.
Mr. Wiggins, is that your partner's name?
Yes, I wonder what's happened to Mr. Wiggins.
Probably out in the cabbage patch with Mrs. Wiggins.
He hates cabbage, and there is no Mrs. Wiggins.
No, don't worry, Angel. I know where he is at all times.
You do? How?
Well, all I have to do is watch the lights over the elevator. I gave the operator $5 to ride him up and down while I talk to you.
Get him out of there. Then we can all sit down and discuss this property he and I handle.
How about dinner tonight?
Mr. Donahue, you don't realize what this can do to Mr. Wiggins. He gets sick just looking at an up escalator. Mr. Donahue, all I came down here for was to interest you in some property for your father's new factory.
Good. We can talk about it over dinner.
Now, please, stop the elevator and let Mr. Wiggins out.
Dinner?
You're the hungriest man I ever saw. Oh, all right, dinner. Now, will you let
Oh, of course, sure. Come on. That's a promise, huh?
That's a promise.
8 o'clock?
With your appetite, I don't see how you can wait that long.
8 o'clock?
8 o'clock, yes.
Oh, Here comes the elevator now.
Penny,
Oh, Horace, you look terrible.
I've been sick.
Hold still, Mrs. Williamson. I'm still fixing your hair.
Oh, excuse me, Margaret. I thought you were finished.
Well, there I am now. Oh, boy, do you look gorgeous. Wait till Mr. Donahue sees you in that dress. He'll just about take off and fly.
That wouldn't surprise me. He had his motor running all morning. Margaret, you don't think this dress is too...
Oh, of course not. Everybody's wearing them to something these days.
Well, I can't back out now. If I get Mr. Donahue to buy that property tonight, we'll be off to Lake Petawawa.
Oh, you'll sell it. I've got all the faith in the world in you, Mrs. Williamson.
Oh, thanks, Margaret. I wish I did.
Where are you?
Is that Ida Duncan?
Oh, yes. Here comes old Ask Me No Questions. I'll tell you all I know.
Margaret, she'll hear you. I'm in here putting on some lipstick, Ida. Come on in.
Oh, I've been looking all over for you, Penny. Penny, that dress.
Like it?
But that neckline. My dear, you're not going to wear that neckline.
Why not? What's the use of having a neck if you can't show it?
Golly, Mother, you look simply terrific in that dress. Oh, I'll bet he'll like it.
Penny, who will like it?
Thank you, DG, dear. Sue, how do you like it?
I don't care much for evening gowns. No pockets to carry lizards in.
Sue, stop shooting that pop gun in the house.
Oh, there he is.
Who is?
Do I look all right, Margaret? How's my hair? Is my lipstick on straight?
Well, you look fine, Mrs. Williamson. Much too good for him.
For whom, Penny? Of course, if you don't want to tell me who this man is, it's all right with me, provided I find out.
This man is Randolph Donahue III. And before you get any ideas, Ida, the reason I'm going out with Mr. Donahue is business. Strictly business.
You know you're an angel, Angel.
Why, Mr. Donahue, I bet you say that to all us angels.
I'm serious. You dance too divinely for any mortal.
And you dance too close for any comfort.
But I want to be close to you, Angel.
Well, if you were any closer, you'd be behind me. Come on now. Why, I can't even breathe. We're going to discuss that property out by the box factory. Well, come on. Let's sit down and talk about it.
Oh, why don't we talk about it out on the terrace, Angel? It's much cozier, huh?
Nothing doing.
No.
Now then, the property runs 1,500 feet
Angel,
along the...
who can keep their mind on 1,500 feet of plowed ground when there's you and a moon?
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Donahue.
You're a very desirable creature, you know that?
But I...
Doesn't anything happen when I hold your hand at mine?
Now, wait.
Don't pull your hand away, Angel.
But I...
There's a moon out on the terrace, Angel. Doesn't a moon do things to you?
Well, yes. It makes me feel, well, warm and tender and affectionate.
Well, I was beginning to think you weren't human.
Well, after all, I am a woman. We're incurably romantic, you know.
Oh, then a moon does do things to you, huh?
Yes, a moon does do things to me, Mr. Donahue. It reminds me of a brisk autumn sky, a little white church under some elm trees, a honeymoon cottage overlooking the sea, a husband going away to war.
Is that all a moon does to you, Angel?
No. No, a moon also reminds me of Lake Petawawa.
Lake Wattawag?
Oh, you wouldn't understand, Mr. Donahue. You see, you only think I'm an angel. I know two little girls who are sure of it. Well, Well, thank you so much for a lovely evening, Mr. Donahue.
Oh, but wait a minute, Angel. Aren't you even going to invite me in for a little nightcap?
I'm afraid the only nightcaps we have around here are milk and cookies.
Milk and cookies?
Oh, sure. We get absolutely homogenized every night. Good night, Mr. Donahue. I'll bring all the papers around in the morning and we'll close the deal for that property.
Oh, but wait a minute. I haven't said definitely that I'd buy it, Angel.
What?
Yeah, well, I looked at it this afternoon. Seems to be just a thing, but, I think we ought to go in and talk about it.
Oh, all right. But just for a minute. Let's go in here in the living room and... Good heavens, what was that? Why, it's Margaret. Margaret, wake up.
Who's Margaret?
My housekeeper. Margaret!
Does she always sleep sitting on the stairs?
Oh, no. Sometimes she lies down. Margaret, wake up.
What? Oh. Was I snoring?
No, you were just breathing out loud. Why didn't you go to bed?
Well, Sue and Digi wanted to know when you got home.
All right, Margaret. You can tell them I'm home.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Margaret, what's the telephone doing off the hook?
The telephone off the hook? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's Mr. Wiggins. He wanted to know when you got home, too. He's been sitting on the phone waiting for you.
Oh, of all the ridiculous... excuse me, Mr. Donahue, I'd better talk to him. You go on in the living room.
Sure, Angel.
Good night, Horace.
Oh, Penny, thank heavens you're home.
Horace, what in the world are you doing?
I've been listening to Margaret snore for the last half hour. Sounded like a small boy taking a trombone lesson.
Well, stop being so silly and go to bed.
Penny, is it silly for me to worry about you when you're out with a man like Donahue?
Are you sure you're not more worried about whether I sold him that property?
Didn't close the deal, did you?
No, not yet.
Good. Oh, that's a shame.
But I will before he leaves here.
Well, better luck next time. Leaves? There?
Yes, he's in the living room waiting to talk over the deal.
Don't move. The man's a demon with women, Penny. Sit right where you are. Breathe deeply. You'll need your strength in case you have to struggle. I'll be right over.
Horace, will you stop being...
Don't worry, Penny. Old Horace will be right there. Goodbye.
Horace. Old Horace. No.
What's the trouble, Angel? Your wings are dragging.
Mr. Donahue, I'm going to put my cards on the table. Will you or will you not take that property out by the box factory?
Why, of course I will, Angel.
Fine. I drew up the papers this afternoon. They're right here in my purse.
Oh.
Now, there. Sign right there.
Here? Okay. Yeah. How's that?
Well, I guess that takes care of Mr. Horace Wiggins.
And all you need is someone to take care of you, Angel.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Mr.
You need
Donahue.
a pair of strong arms around you.
I'm just as happy with them the way they are, hanging from my shoulders.
Now, don't pull away from me, Angel.
Please.
Are you all right, Mrs. Williamson?
Now I am Margaret.
Is that Mr. Casanova?
No, Sue, darling. This is Mr. Donahue. These are my two daughters, Digi and Sue.
Oh, hello, DG. Hello, Sue. You. Does that little one always carry a shotgun?
That's just a pop gun.
We were worried about your mother.
Oh, but I'm all right, Digi. Mr. Donahue and I were just signing a contract between us.
Does that mean you're going to be my father?
Father?
Mr. Donahue, you're turning white.
Daddy.
Oh, no.
Mr. Donahue, you're turning green.
Yippee, we got a man.
Oh, I wish I was dead.
Mr. Donahue, you're turning purple. You'd better pick a color and stick to it.
I gotta get out of here.
You need a doctor.
If I stayed here, I'd need a lawyer. Good night, Mrs. Williamson.
Well, we sure got rid of him in a hurry.
Yes, whose idea was that?
Margaret. It sure did work, too.
I'll say it did, Sue. And what's more, I got the deal before Mr. Wiggins did.
Oh, say that's right.
Uh-huh. Tomorrow we leave for Lake Patawag.
Golly, Mother, really? Oh, you are an angel.
Hey, open the door. It's me, Old Horace.
Uh-oh, it's Mr. Wiggins. Another wolf on the doorstep.
Why, he's not the wolf, Margaret. He's the goat.
Singleton will return in just a moment. 3 chimes mean good times on NBC. Singleton Show, which comes to you every Tuesday evening at this time, featured Bea Benaderet, Hal March, Gerald Moore, Sarah Selby, Mary Lee Robb, and Sheila James. The music is composed and conducted by Von Dexter. The script is by Jack Crutcher and Doris Gilbert. Directed by Ray Dietrich and stars Penny Singleton.
Good night. Keep well.
And this is Hal Gibney inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday evening for the Penny Singleton Show, an NBC presentation. Three chimes mean good times on NBC.
With an cast like that, how could the show have ever been bad? And it was only just on for one summer. 74 years ago, September 5th, 1950, The Penny Singleton Show, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Don't go away. The Man of Steel is next.
Should an enemy attack the United States, radioactive fallout would be a major threat, whether you live in a big town or small one.
So know how to protect yourself against it, like this family.
Come on, honey, to the shelter.
Will we be safe against radioactive fallout?
Sure, I followed civil defense plans. Put 3 feet of earth over it.
Hey, come on, Dad and Mom. I've got the Conrad station tuned in on the battery radio. Sis is checking the food and water supply.
Might have to last us 2 weeks, son.
It will. Janie and I saw to that.
Wise family.
And a safe one. An underground shelter is your best defense against fallout. A basement refuge is good, too.
Make one by placing sandbags, magazines, bedding, any dense material around and over a shelter area in your basement.
The basement itself provides some protection.
An ordinary house would probably cut the radiation in half if you stay on the first floor near the center of the house.
So be prepared. Know how to protect yourself against radioactive fallout.
Now let's see what's going on with the Metropolis football team in this episode of Superman that was originally broadcast 83 years ago, September 5th, 1941.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
A bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. As you remember, Clark Kent became involved in what seemed to him to be a strange mystery that deserved investigation. It concerned the Metropolis University football team's sudden collapse in the fourth quarter of its game with State College. Fortunately, Metropolis won, but Kent suspects some human agency was responsible for what happened. He's followed up a few leads, and at the moment is back at the Daily Planet editorial office discussing the matter with his editor, Perry White. Listen.
All I know is that you were assigned to cover a football game. You sent Lois Lane back with your notes. As a result, someone else had to write the story. I think it's about time you learned to stay with an assignment once it's given you. You're a reporter, I know. I'm a reporter, not a detective. Exactly. Now, look, Mr. White, I've never let you down, have I? Well, what's that got to do with it? Well, simply this. There's a story behind that football game. A story much more important than the game itself. A
A story big enough to warrant headlines and a page-one spread.
Well, that's different. Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, you didn't give me a chance. However, it isn't ready to break yet.
Oh, I see. Another of your wild dreams, eh? As a matter of fact, Lois did mention that you were off on a wild goose chase again. She said you didn't even wait to see the end of the game. You dashed off 5 minutes before the final whistle blows.
Well, she's right. This is what happened. The Metropolis team went to pieces in the last quarter. Bob Harris, the captain, fainted on the field. And the rest of the men were staggering around like a bunch of dazed high school freshmen. Well, it didn't seem natural, so I had a talk with Spike Taylor, the coach.
Yes?
And Taylor was worried. Couldn't understand what had happened to his team. Every man on the squad was groggy.
State College probably gave him a fight.
No, it wasn't that. The men were dazed more than tired. Harris described it fairly well. He said his legs went weak and his head began to swim.
Did the doctor examine him?
Yeah, sure. Dr. Stone of the medical school. He even made a blood test. Nothing showed up.
Well, there's your answer.
I'm afraid not, Mr. White. There's more to it than appears on the surface. Briefly, this is the story. The Metropolis team has one more game to play with Southwest University. Now, if they win, they'll be undefeated and get an invitation to play at the Rose Bowl.
Yes, I know. I read the papers, Kent. You're not telling me anything new.
Well, I will in a moment. Metropolis must win because a lot depends on it.
Like Taylor's coaching job?
Oh, no, something more important. The lives of thousands of youngsters.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Well, you see, a man named Richards, an alumnus of the university, died last year and left the medical research laboratory $3 million, provided the university could raise $500,000 on its own hook. Now, the research laboratory needs that money badly to carry on its infantile paralysis work, trying to find a cause and cure.
Yes. Go on. Get to the point.
I am. They've raised $300,000 so far, and if the team wins its final game and goes to the Rose Bowl, the university's share of the gate receipts will give them the money they need to get the legacy.
It's a nice human interest story, but it's not page one by any manner of means.
No, the page one story is yet to come. You see, despite the fact that Dr. Stone found nothing wrong with Bob Harris, I didn't like the look of things. So I had a talk with Professor Nelson, dean of the medical school. I learned from him that if the university failed to raise the $500,000 by next month, the $3 million legacy went to someone else.
Who?
That's what I wanted to know. So I checked with John Quincy, the lawyer who handled the will. But he refused to give me any information. But he did let slip that 3 people would benefit if the university didn't get the legacy. Now, do you see the possibility of a page one story?
Yes. It's pretty far-fetched. You think that one of the 3 people is trying to keep the university from getting the $3 million.
Uh-huh. By putting the football team out of commission.
Yeah, that's Frank Merrill stuff, Kent. Doesn't happen in real life. Who are the 3 possible heirs?
That's what I don't know. The will hasn't been filed with the court yet. But Quincy, the lawyer, knows. Somehow, I've got to get him to cooperate.
Frankly, I think you're wasting your time. I thought you really had something, but all you've got are...
And an important message for you.
What do you mean by breaking in here like a cyclone? I thought I told you last week.
Sorry, Mr. White, but the boy who delivered it said it was urgent.
I don't care what it is. Get out.
Okay.
Well, let me have the message, Jimmy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here.
Get out, I said.
I'm going, Mr. White.
You scared the daylights out of that poor kid.
Well, the next time I'll whip the daylights out of him. This is supposed to be a private office, not a three-ring circus. By rights, I should fire that young whippersnapper. He's entirely too fresh.
Oh, Jimmy's not fresh. He's just eager. Anyway, you won't fire him, so why talk about it? Your bark is much worse than your bite.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, that's so.
Well, why don't you read that message if it's so all-fired important?
I will.
My bark is worse than my bite. What we need around here is more discipline.
Great Scott.
What's the matter?
A moment ago, Mr. White, you said you thought I was wasting my time on this football team story. All right, look at this.
Clark Kent, Daily Planet. This is a little friendly advice. Keep your nose out of other people's business, or you won't be using it to breathe with very long.
Uh-huh. That's not a threat. I never read one.
It's not signed. Who delivered it?
I think Jimmy mentioned the messenger boy. We'll ask him. Jimmy! Oh, Jim!
Okay, I know. I was expecting it.
Come in a minute, Jim. What were you expecting?
This. You don't have to tell me. I know. I'm fired.
Oh, don't be silly.
You should be fired, you young stupid. Oh, what's the use?
Ah, this had nothing to do with being fired, Jimmy. What we want to know is who delivered this message to me.
Why, just a boy.
A messenger boy?
No, just a boy like me.
Nobody could be quite like you.
Would you recognize the boy if you saw him again?
Gosh, I don't know it. I didn't pay much attention to him.
Of course not.
Is something wrong, Mr. Kent? Did I make a mistake?
No, Jimmy. No. We just thought the letter had been delivered by a uniformed messenger. I think I'll take a run over to the university and see Dr. Nelson. I better call him first.
Use my phone.
Okay. Get me the medical research laboratory at Metropolis University. That's right. Thank you. She'll call me when she gets there.
Well, what are you hanging around for?
Who, me?
No, my grandmother.
Oh, can I stay?
What do you think this is? A railroad station waiting room?
Jimmy's not in the way, Mr. White. Let him stay.
Now, look here, Kent. Wait.
Hello. Is this Professor Nelson? Oh, Dr. Stone. Is Professor Nelson there? This is Clark Kent. I see. Wait just a minute, will you please? Quiet, please, Mr. White. Hello. Yes, well, when he comes back, will you please tell him I'm on my way over to the university? Yes, something very important has come up. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Thank you. Nelson stepped out for a moment, but he'll be back by the time I get there.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you rushing over to see Nelson for?
Well, perhaps he can use some influence with that lawyer Quincy to get us the names of the 3 beneficiaries. I'll be back as soon as I can. You want to come along, Jimmy?
Boy, and how?
Just a minute, Kent. He was hired to run copy, not to run...
Jim, let's go.
Right with you.
Now, see here, Kent, come back here. Come back here, right here. Kent, come back here, right here.
Mr. White's going to be mad as a wet hen. He didn't want you to take me.
No, don't you worry, Jimmy. He'll forget all about it before we get back.
Well, what are you going to do at the university? Watch the team practice?
No, we're going up to the research laboratory to see Professor Nelson. You like the monkeys and the gorilla.
Monkeys and a gorilla?
Uh-huh. Dozens of little white-faced rhesus monkeys and a huge 400-pound gorilla. They call him Hercules.
Gosh, he doesn't walk around free, does he?
Well, hardly. He's locked in a cage.
Well, what's he doing in the laboratory?
Well, I suppose Professor Nelson and Dr. Stone experiment on him. You know, monkeys and gorillas are a lot like human beings.
Yeah, I know. I saw a couple of gorillas in the movies. They danced and played the piano and smoked cigars.
They were probably apes or chimpanzees. Gorillas are a little too vicious to train. There's a big one in the circus that comes to Metropolis every year.
Oh, that's right, Gargantua. Is Hercules as big as Gargantua?
Well, not quite, but it's big enough. We'll see. Well, here we are. Guess I can park here. All right, Jim, come on.
Okay. Which way, Mr. Kent?
That's the medical building over there, that old brick structure.
Do they keep the monkeys in cages, too?
Mm-hmm. Small wire cages.
I'll bet they're cute.
Yes, but noisy. Shadow all the time. Watch your step here, Jimmy. The laboratory's down in the basement. I think this is the door.
It sure is. Listen to those monkeys. Where's Hercules, the gorilla?
He's in a cage around that bend in the room, Jim. Doesn't seem to be anybody here. Professor Nelson?
Maybe he's out to dinner.
No, Dr. Stone said he was coming right back. I told him I'd be over in 10 minutes.
Can I see the gorilla, Mr. Kent?
Sure, of course you can. He's right around that bend.
Oh, I know, but if you'd come too,
There's nothing to be afraid of, Jimmy. He's in a cage.
Okay.
Professor Nelson? Dr. Stone? That's funny. No soul here. I wonder whether they got...
Help!
Help! Jimmy! What's the matter? Help! Jimmy!
Well, something serious has happened around the bend in the laboratory room. Did Jimmy get too close to the cage? And has the gorilla caught him in its powerful grip? Why is he screaming for help? It looks like trouble ahead and plenty of it, so don't miss a single exciting episode. Tune in and listen with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
But you'll have to wait Sunday to find out who's behind all of this mess. Or at least the next episode of Superman. That's from 83 years ago, September 5th, 1941, Superman, here on Classic Radio Theater. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday. Tomorrow, for our Friday edition, we will have episodes of Dragnet and the Big 17. Stotts Cotsworth, starring as Inspector Thorne. We'll have the news from September 6th, 1951. We'll also have Don McLaughlin, Mandel Kramer in another episode of Phillips H. Lord's Counter Spy and the Case of the Arrogant Arsonist. An episode of Confession. George S. Andrus, a 15-year-old confessing to stealing jewelry and murder. And another episode of the sweet, sweet soap, Claudia. Saturday, The Life of Riley, Fibber McGee, and Molly. Father Knows Best, the CBS Radio Workshop, and another episode of Claudia. And then on Sunday, X-1, Wanted, Counter Spy, The Mysterious Traveler, and Superman. And Monday, we'll start the new week with Milton Berle, Ozzie and Harriet, George Burns and Gracie Allen, and the Rudy Valley Dream Show. That'll all be coming up on Monday. So a lot of fun stuff straight ahead. Thank you so much for making us a part of your Thursday. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.